What's all the PMS with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G, your Chief PMS cheerleader, motivating and empowering you to win in your personal and professional life, your connector, guiding you and bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I am your leadership and growth coach strategist, empowerment speaker, best-selling author, mom, wife, Christian, and I get to serve you in doing what I am passionate about. You, sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. Thank you. Can you believe it? We are at the end of 2023, which means we are in the 52nd week of this year. And we are also at our number one of the top 5 episodes for 2023. But before I start, I want to say thank you for being in this space with me. If it's your first time listening, welcome. If you've been with me since day one, whatever that time is, what matters is that you're showing up, you're listening, and you know what? You can share this podcast. And I'm so grateful as we come into this space and you continue to stay motivated in creating habits and reaching your success story. So, as we continue to listen every week, as we are educated, inspired, and elevated in our growth personally and professionally. So, before I go any further, let me remind you that you can also financially support this show as we continue to show up and empower you and other women on your personal and professional growth journey. And all you have to do is go to the show description and click on the link, support the show, make your contribution. Let that be another part of you having a voice and saying, I stand in support of this podcast and how we serve and what we deliver. In other words, you know what? You're being a blessing as we continue to bless others. So there's a scripture, Romans 12:2, which states, Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that renewing allows us to align with greater purpose. It creates awareness and authenticity. Let's say a new awakening, which also aligns with this episode, which was rated number one of the top 5 episodes for 2023. And can I get a drum roll, please? So we are in episode 94, and number one is from episode 49, which it was the heart of transformation. And I actually had a special guest, which was Winnie Alexander. And Winnie describes it as put your mask on first. And we get to do this. We get to do this because we choose to do this every day. Why? Well, I want you to take a listen of more of what she had to say during our conversation. Maybe you hadn't even heard that episode, or maybe it's just a recap and a reminder for you as we put our mask on first. And this is number one. So take a listen. The topic today is the heart of transformation.
Yeah.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
let's get into this. I love it. So, if we think about it, if we think about the um the process of transformation, the beauty of transformation, we often love the result.
Mhm.
We love the what we see after something has transformed, but not necessarily the process of
Yeah.
what transformation involves.
True.
And so there's a quote by Maya Angelou that I want to quote, and she states, We delight in the beauty of a butterfly,
Mhm.
but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty.
Absolutely.
So again, we talk about transformation involves processes. So Winnie, share with us, when we talk about those processes, would you um tell us, that woman seeking to grow in her professional life,
Mhm.
what does that, heart of transformation looks like?
So, actually, I kind of define transformation as going beyond your comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
building faith in yourself for yourself. So, the process that I would say, first of all, team up with a professional development coach.
Mm,
That coach can help you set goals. You can also find a mentor if you prefer to have that. The coach also helps you improve your transferable skills, um, helps you to understand what self advocacy is. Um, Also, brush up on your soft skills, your professional development skills like communication and time management and self care, which is huge, especially for professional women. We
yes.
tend to wear our S on our chest and think that we can conquer everything and everybody all the time.
Mm,
And that
yes.
doesn't always end positively, I should
And
say.
that's real talk.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm a big advocator of helping professional women, um, learn self-care and just sort of make them aware of it. I think it's more of awareness as opposed of learning. We know about it, but we're not always aware of it.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
when you talk about self-care, man, I have to piggyback a little bit because in 2022, I did a countdown
Mhm.
and it was based on, the top five, what listeners, were listening to, what they said was important. And you know what number one was? Self-care.
Mhm.
Self-care. And I took it to heart because based on the listeners, okay, that's what you're interested in, or maybe that's where you are on your journey, or maybe that's what you're seeking more awareness of what can I do, or how can I do that. And so when you talk about that part of self-care, that's that for 2022, that was at the top of the list. So that was just then, not too long ago, right? I
Right.
mean, we're only like 2 months now. We're in February now, but the thing is that I'm sure it still is, because you said
Yes.
as women professionals, it's something that, man, even as women professionals, even as mothers, just leaders in your home, a lot of times, you said it, we walk around with that S on our chest,
We
thinking we
do.
have to be superwoman, supercharged, super, super, super all the time. And we
Yes.
forget that other S word, self,
Yes.
self-care.
Yes.
I always say, if you don't give yourself, and I always talk about filling your cup first, if you don't do
Mhm.
that for you, how are you really good for someone else,
You
or at
can.
the at the fullest of yourself?
Exactly. And
you
one of
know
my current sayings, and you hear this when you fly all the time, put your mask on first.
there you go.
That's my tagline. Put your mask on first, because we as women don't put our mask on. We want to help everyone else.
Mhm.
And then we're left without the energy to do the things that we need to do.
Right. So can you take us through, maybe I'm gonna say it this way, but correct me, or where I may be incorrect or whatever, because I'm
Okay.
always open for improvement. And but if we talk about you taking us through that process of what the heart of transformation looks like, or what that is, because it's a process. It's a process. But can you give us a, as you speak to us, as if someone is listening,
Mhm.
give them that visual picture of what that involves?
Right, right. So, as you know, coaching, when you do coaching, it is the now and the future. So we don't go back into what happened to your past, but it's the present and the future. So one of the things that I think is extremely important is sitting down with the client and finding out what their goals are, their short-term goals, their long-term goals. because you have to start somewhere. And so what is it that you, where is it that you see you're going? How do you see yourself? When do you think you'll reach that? What things you need to do in order to reach those goals? So that's a huge step, and that's the beginning of that process. During that time, you're going to have losses, you're going to have wins, but we celebrate the wins all along, even the small ones. It doesn't have to be this huge breakthrough and now we're going to throw a party. No, even small wins. Guess what? I got my time management under control. Yes. That's a win.
Yes, I love talking about wins.
Yes, yes. I was able to improve my communication. My staff laughed. They were having a good time. We had a really positive meeting. Sometimes you don't always have to just walk that thin line. You can just sort of let go and be your authentic self, and it's okay. I find that sometimes we feel like we don't have permission to talk as professional women in that space, that are, especially as women of color. We think that, oh, maybe I shouldn't say this or I shouldn't say that. They'll look at me differently. You have to be intentional about everything that you do, and you have to walk in your purpose, and that's what it's all about.
And you know what?
Finding your passion and your purpose.
And that is a foundation of what you actually portray in your business, where you're saying that woman, for you to walk in your passion and your purpose, which
Absolutely.
clearly is something, as coaches, you want that person to, because that's where you're most fulfilled.
Oh, yes.
That's
Yeah.
where, that's when you start setting intentional things in your life. You just said that part of being intentional,
Yeah.
actually being intentional in how you do something, why you do something,
Yes.
and understanding that, you know, I was sharing with Winnie before we even got on the call, before we started the recording, and I was sharing with her some just as simple as my energy. I was like, man, my energy was getting a little low, and I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, it's a little later in the day, um and everything, but at the same time, when we got on the call, it's like I was just re-energized.
Yes. Yeah.
And for me, that identified and that made me aware of my passion,
Mhm.
how no matter what I felt or how I felt, something reignited inside of me because I'm passionate about this. What else? I'm passionate about you. And so
Yeah.
when we talk about things that can help you in your professional life, in your personal life, man, it's like, and then being able to collaborate with someone else to talk about those things that can help you improve in your day to day, for you to evolve and
Yes.
grow. And,
Yes.
and, and, from, you said, when you sit with a client, you talk about, okay, let's see where you are. Well, we first
Right.
have to identify where we are before we know,
Exactly.
okay, no, we can't get to California with, we're here in, I'm gonna say Florida. Okay, I'm in Florida, but I'm not talking about Florida. I'm talking about California. Well, from Florida to California, something has to happen.
Yes.
There's some transferring and some transformation
Mhm.
happening,
Yes. Yeah.
from
Absolutely.
Florida to California.
Yes.
So, Winnie, I know, I'm gonna say this. This may be a little off track, but
Okay.
you know, I want to talk about your title, My 7 Words, your business name. And I just want you to, because I just thought it was, for me, when if you could see what I see,
Mhm.
then it would ignite something in you, because I see, she said it's my 7 words, but I can also probably be right when I say those 7 words are a foundation of value of what you bring into your business, because it
It
is a
is. I
part
think
of you. And so
Yes,
I
thank
want you to,
you.
just kind of briefly tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's still a part of the heart. It's a part of what makes your heart beat, what makes you passionate about what you do and the
Thank
changes you have
you.
to go through to get to what you're
Yeah,
doing. So just talk a little bit about that for us.
sure. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to say 15 years ago. And I was working actually in the airports up and down the East Coast. And I was facilitating customer service classes. And so I kind of oversaw the customer service program in 6 different airports. So I was in Miami, which was one of my airports, and just thinking about my life at that time, and I fell asleep. Well, as I was kind of in that sleep wake moment, I heard my 7 words. I was like, my
Mm-hmm.
7 words, my 7 words. And it was like, and all of a sudden, this is what you're going to do. You're going to meet women where they are. You're going to encourage, you're going to motivate, you're going to help them through, their situations. You're going to empower. And I was like, wow. So I woke up completely, wrote it all down. And I was like, yes, okay, let me figure out, I'm going to need a website, and I'm going to need an EIN, and I'm going to need this. So I think I got my EIN at that same day. Um, but then it ended up on the shelf, because what I didn't know, there were still things that I needed to go through in order to fulfill my destiny. I'm a breast cancer survivor, so hence the word survivor. I've
Glory to
been through a
God.
lot in my life, divorce, a death of a spouse, um, I said the cancer, I've lost a home, I've lost my cars, I've just a lot of life trauma, childhood
Mm-hmm.
trauma, a lot of life things. And so I had forgotten about my 7 words until last year. This was around end of August, first part of September.
Wow.
And I was like, I got to do something else with my life. I want to go into maybe coaching. I think I'd be really, good at this. And all of a sudden, my 7 words came back into my mind and
Wow.
spirit. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I remember that. So I was cleaning up some papers, and lo and behold, I ran across the paper where I had written this down. And it was a part of my goals for that year, was to start a website, a coaching business, the name my7words.com.
Yeah.
So that's how that all came to be. And I knew, when I look back now and look over my life, I knew that I would not have been successful if I started back then. But I had to go through the things that I went through in order to be able to relate to other women
Yeah.
who might be in the same circumstances that I was in throughout those 10, 15 years.
Yeah. And to have the heart in what you do. Like, I keep talking
Yes.
about that heart and that transformation.
Yes.
You go back and you said 15 years ago.
Mhm.
But when it came to you, that vision, that awakening, you wrote it down, which
Yes.
reminds me, write the vision,
You
you know.
got it.
And though it may tarry, so in other words, it may linger, sit on a
Mhm.
shelf. There you go.
Mhm.
Sit on the shelf for a minute,
Yes.
but it will surely come to pass. And
Yes.
so here you are, and you said, okay, you know, a year ago, here I am. So I
Mhm.
think if someone's listening to that, they're just to hear, first of all, you were awakened with something that spoke into you.
Yes.
You wrote the vision. You
Mhm.
went through the processes of life,
The
to prepare
transformation.
you
Mhm.
for where you are now. And does
Yes.
the transformation stop? No. Does the changes
Nope.
stop? No. You
Mhm.
continue to, on your journey to, grow through those things.
Yes.
So, you show the process, and you said even through all of that, you went through as a breast cancer survivor, which I said, glory to God. You know,
Yes.
you went through divorce, you went through death of a spouse, all those things you went through, which stands, which one, that's one of her 7 words, survivor, you
You
know.
got it. Strong.
Oh, right, right. And I was gonna add that strong to it too, because when you were talking, I was thinking strong
Yeah.
survivor.
Yeah. You don't know until you're in it.
And so many powerful experiences that created that powerful vision that
Mhm.
manifested the power in what you want to bring and how you want to serve, and the
Absolutely.
heart, of you saying to that person, that woman, that
Mhm.
client,
Mhm.
hey, I care about this journey with you. I'm
Yes,
walking through this with you. So
absolutely.
we're going to thank you so much, Winnie. Thank
Oh,
you for that.
thank you.
So we are coming to a close.
Uh-huh.
And when we do that, I always talk about, you got to give us, you get, I'm not gonna say you got, you get, because there is power in saying get to instead of I got to. No, you get,
Right. I
because
get.
you've been empowered to
Yes,
do so.
ma'am.
So anyway, PMS tip. I want you, because when I think of my 7 words, and it's a word, I want
Mhm.
you to give us a PMS tip as a word, that what that one word would be that you would offer to other girls and women as they enter, um you know into their heart of transformation, or through that heart of transformation. What would that one word you would give to, to the women?
Authentic.
Okay.
You want me to
Authentic.
elaborate?
Yes, I would. You know what, I'm getting ready to say, okay, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Sure. Sometimes we get lost in the sauce,
Mm,
as they say.
lost
And
in the sauce, I like that.
and we conform to what other people's expectations of us should be. And
Mm,
we're all made different and we're wonderfully and uniquely made. So
yes,
I think it's really important to be your authentic self.
yes. I,
Come with authenticity. Are we perfect? No way.
right.
Are we a work in progress? Absolutely. But at the
Yes.
core, who are we?
Yeah. And that's the real beauty of the transformation or
Yes,
process that we go through when we
yes.
show up authentically. You are important, and you can experience transformation by going beyond your comfort zone. What transformation are you ready to step into next? That's my question. It starts with you, just like we talk about growth, it starts with you, which can be through your personal and professional development. And we get to do this one step at a time, which brings me to this moment of inviting you to join our inaugural Queen's Court Society. It starts January 2024, which is like in a week. And you know what? We're showing up, being accountable to one another in our growth goals, as we continue to rise higher, as we continue to go into new levels, as we continue to experience those transformations in our life. We're shifting to shaking in 2024, and we can do this and more in our personal and professional growth right here when you join Queen's Court Society. And so, if you want to know more about that, just go to the show description. But it is a personal growth program that helps you accomplish more, maybe that deeper sense of more purpose and intention that you're seeking, elevating and evolving in your personal and professional growth. Because you know what, you're already brilliant, you're already brave, and you stand a brand of your own. But now let's get ready to own your life to new levels, a new transformational experience. And that enrollment, of course, is open, and it will continue to be open as we continue to move forward. So go to to the show description, touch the link, Queen's Court Society School of Growth membership, and be a part of this growing community as we continue to show up, support one another, encourage one another, empower one another, because we need that on our journey as we create those meaningful changes in the world. And that guess what? We get to do it together. So boldly take the next step. Or you can go to the website, gstylecoaching.com, see Queen's Court Society, sign up, and I'm ready to experience that transformation with you. So let's continue to show up as we move into 2024. Let's look to do greater things. I want to hear your voice. Share your comments. Make sure you're following, subscribing, because you know what? That's your voice. And that's how we can continue to stay connected. And that's how we continue to grow. And that's how we could increase our visibility and reach. And all of that, you know what? We're doing that together. So thank you in advance as you continue to support this show. And in saying all of that, until next time, sisters, let's keep growing because it all starts with you.